Okay, so for this next exercise, we're going to work on leading the horse past you or leading the horse by. Now, what I mean by leading the horse past you, or you could say leading the horse by, now you can lead your horse like this, let's say. People can lead their horse. This is kind of how it might go, like this. Now, what if you could lead your horse past you, here like that? See, I could send him on around that way, then lead him forward. What if I could lead him past me like this, the other way? Get him on to go around, here like that. What if I could lead him this way? Now, I got to be able to move that forequarters. I got to be able to move the hindquarters. If I can't do that, then this is going to be a tough move. So I need to get that forequarters to move. See, if I can get that horse to lead past me, then I can get my horse to go around me in a circle as well. So I could toss that rope over him like this as he moves around. Now, I might have to give him a little tap on his rear end and get him to go forward. My goal is not to have to drive him if I don't have to. Good. So, don't make me drive you, is what you're going to say to the horse. If I need to give him a little touch of the tip of that tail, then I will. Now you notice his body here. He doesn't have his nose poked out the other way. There's kind of a float in the rope. He's not leaning on this halter rope here. He doesn't have his head bent in, but he especially doesn't have it bent out. His body sort of shapes around me and sort of fits the circle. Now you notice my feet, my toes and hips are pointed towards his elbow, driving him forward or away from you. So that way the horse learns that he needs to yield to your space. At a point here I could toss my lead rope over him. Just give that a little toss here. See if I can encourage him to keep on moving forward. Just give that little toss like that. Good. And that's good. Now, see if I can pick up here, roll his hindquarters. I'll go the other way. I'll step this way, drive that front end across. Good. And from here, I can send him on around me. I might only need to send him on around me part way. But if I need to warm him up a little bit, I could check him out to see if there's any tightness here. If there's one exercise that you want to get really good at, and if there's only one exercise that you did get good at, it'd be this exercise, leading the horse past you. If this is the only exercise that you got good at, well, you'd have a lot accomplished. So, I ought to be able to go here, move the horse's front end, and send the horse around me without moving my feet. Watch me tip his nose, roll his hindquarters over. Good. I'll switch my hands, get him to step his front quarters over. He steps on around me. See how little it would take to get that accomplished. I can roll his hindquarters over there. I could go this way, send him on around me this way. If you're real slick, you could send your horse run behind you. Get your horse to follow that suggestion. There. Good. And go forward. Send him on around me this way. Good. Move that forequarters over. Come on around me. Good. Roll the hindquarters. Move the forequarters over. Want to get him to trot. Put a little more life to the tail. Send him forward to a trot. Good. There shouldn't be any tension here. There shouldn't be any tightness. So if he's leaning on this rope, if his body isn't rounding out, that shows me there's some brace to that horse. So that might be an opportunity to get that worked out here with a real basic little exercise. So, leading the horse past you. This isn't lunging. The horse is following the feel. You're not trying to wear it out by chasing it around in a circle mindlessly. That's not going to work for you. So, work on getting your horse to follow your feel. Work on getting your horse to lead past you.
So as I said, leading the horse past you is a very essential movement. It includes a lot of little transitions. If this was the only groundwork exercise that you'd learned, assuming it was done right, you'd actually be in pretty good shape. So be thinking all the time about getting your horse soft, light, responsive. Think about getting down to those feet. You're trying to direct those feet and control those feet. The softer and lighter you start when you ask, the lighter the horse is going to be. But you might need to firm up. You should make sure you practice adjusting moment to moment. You need to figure out how much to do. It's important to let the horse stop and relax every so often. Let him sort of exhale. Let him watch for that licking and chewing, particularly when it looks like he's got the idea. That's called soaking time. So it's really important to look for that. One of the mistakes I see a lot of times is when people start to back up when they send their horse past them on a little circle. So because doing this teaches the horse to almost to walk on you. This sort of inadvertently teach the horse to push on their space. So this often also causes a horse to stop before you ask them to. So when he does this, a lot of times people don't know that they're doing this. So a lot of times it's important to think about holding your ground, think about slowly gaining ground on the horse, teaching the horse to yield away from you. Once your horse is going forward, be aware that the horse should be round, his body should be moving in an arc, he should be reaching equal with all four quarters. He should be soft in his neck, in his jaw, in his shoulder, his rib cage, his loin, and eventually that will match the circle. There shouldn't be any pressure on the halter rope as he goes around you. So this means that his body isn't round. So if this is the case, you might bump his nose a little bit with that halter rope, which would give him that's why it wouldn't give him something to lean on or pull against. So think about being consistent with this timing. So kind of bump and release, and he'll carry himself with more roundness. If the rib cage drops inside the circle, you can kind of bump on his nose. You can flip the tail of the halter rope toward his rib cage to have it move out. So build towards this roundness sort of incrementally. So let's get this exercise good on both sides. Sort of fix it up and allow your horse to find this. So as you're asking for a change, you can fix the situation so your horse can find out what you're asking and then allow him to make that change. So make sure you practice this both directions. So make sure you do this exercise mostly at a walk. Trotting small circles is a little bit too much. Creates a lot of torque on their legs. So especially younger horses, occasionally tip them up to a trot and then back to a walk for transitions, but mostly work this at a walk. This should be fluid, like a dance. So somebody's got to lead the dance. First you get to where your horse will dance with you, and then you get in time with it. So pretty soon, you'll get a willing partner.